And let me share my screen with you again. Perfect. Okay, so before we start, I'm just going to carry on through the masterclass. As you guys drop comments for me in the messenger box, I'll come back and have a look at them later. So we keep the flow of the masterclass going. And I'll probably let people coming in as we go along. I might just mention a bit of the comments later on. But yeah, just feel free to drop anything in the comments, anything that resonates with you, anything that jumps out at you. It'd be really good if you could share that with us all, because we're all here to learn from each other. So let's have a look at this masterclass and see who is this masterclass for. So it's for women who have been through toxic abuse and find themselves struggling to break the cycle of toxic relationships, identify red flags and the warning signs, and break them toxic cycles. So if you find that you keep meeting the wrong kind of people that violate your boundaries, I want you to know that you are in the right place, because I was also in that situation. I was also in that situation where I was in a toxic marriage. I'm going to talk about a little bit more about that later, but I know exactly why you are here, and I'm here to support you to break that cycle. Okay. So if you want to transition into transforming your life into feeling wholesome, positive, feeling worthy and successful in yourself and in your relationships, and you're ready to honor the woman that you can become, then this masterclass is for you. So I would love to actually drop my social media handles, because I know what I'm like. I'll probably forget them. If you don't follow me already, I have so much free content that I would love to share with everybody, because I don't know if these are actually going to come through as links or not. I'm hoping that they are. I don't know if they're going to come through as links or not. But you can find so much of my content that is absolutely free. There's so many videos that I've got out there. I'm going to try and do this individually. Right, I hope they work. If they don't, I'm going to come back to them in a short while. Okay, so yeah, drop my social media handles for you. Feel free to follow me. Feel free to have a look and see if there's anything that you might be able to resonate with there. So now let's talk about, well, what qualifies me to teach you? Why am I here, and why am I here so passionate about doing what I'm doing? Because I was in a toxic marriage for 8 years. I was married to what I assumed to be Mr. Narcissistic, the king of narcissistic people himself. And I was in a very abusive domestic violence marriage. I felt like I was at the bottom of the really pitfalls of my life, and it was a real struggle to even contemplate leaving because I was too scared. I'd lost my self-confidence, my self-worth, everything about me. I mean, I looked nothing the way that I do right now. I was just a complete mouse version of who I am. And once I actually left that marriage and I spoke to people about my transformation, how I moved forward, I realized that I'd actually created a methodology for myself that helped me to transition, and I started supporting people with that, and it led to my role to become a coach, to become a transformational coach to support other women to know that when you come out from a toxic relationship and you are feeling that you are at rock bottom, you are not alone, because I'm sure that more or less everybody in this room here today will probably feel the same way. Yeah, I've just got, is it Lindsay, just putting some messages in the comments. What I'll do, Lindsay, I'll come back to all the comments in a short while just to keep the flow of the masterclass going. But I'm really appreciating you dropping your comments in there, and Jennifer, you as well, because it's our appreciation of understanding and knowing that we're not alone is what's going to carry us forward. And that's what I wanted to make this a masterclass where we can be as interactive as we possibly can. So thank you for dropping your comments. I will come back to them in a short while. But yes, this led me to my journey to becoming a life coach. So I'm here to help you guys. I want you to know, if you are suffering, I want you to send me a DM, and I want you to connect with me and let me see what resources I have got. I've got so many free resources that I can support you with. So yeah, I've heard so many times, Nazia, I wish my friend or my sister or my neighbor or my daughter had met someone like you 10 years ago, because they wouldn't have to go through all that trauma that they went through. They could find a fast way forward to move forward from there. And that's what I'm hoping to support you guys with today as well. So the aim of today's masterclass, I'll be walking you through how to identify and recognize red flags. through a proven process that I have created. It's my signature framework, and I use it to empower my clients with my one-to-one coaching program, Reclaim Your Self-Worth. It's for women who want to reclaim their self-worth after a toxic relationship, and live with confidence, courage, and healthy boundaries. Now, this is based on a 4-pillar framework, which I'm going to be using in today's masterclass. And this masterclass is not, I'm not here to talk about my program or how I work with my clients. I'm here to give you a free masterclass. But if there's anyone out there who wants to know more about this framework, more about how to work with me, just drop me a message and I'm going to share a link with you, how you can book a call as well, if that's something that you would like to explore. So moving forward, just to give you an idea, this is one of my clients, for example, Laura. She worked with me on an 8-week coaching program. When we first met, she was struggling to break the cycle of toxic relationships. She wanted to be respected and honored in relationships, but she was really struggling to enforce boundaries, and her relationships were toxic and she was struggling to break that cycle. We worked together in my 8-week coaching program at the time on mindset, what her blocks were, why she felt that that behavior was allowed in her life, and how she could protect herself and enforce boundaries. And within 8 weeks, her life changed. She said to me, her testimonial was, your coaching program was the best 8 weeks of my life. And within 6 months, she met the love of her life. She met someone who she was with, and she said to me, Nazia, your 8-week coaching program transformed my life. And that is what I'm here to do, to transform lives. So she also started a diet plan. She changed her relations with her daughter, with her family, built her confidence, upskilled her job. So this is what this framework can do for you. It can really change your life. But I want you to understand that this methodology is designed to help you move into a powerful mindset that delivers the result that you're struggling to achieve. And if you're ready for your transformation, then I want you to reach out to me and send me a message. But I'm here to get you the results that you've been struggling to create. So please let me know that I'm here to support you. So this is the framework that we're going to use in today's masterclass. It's called CARE. It's something that I've created for you, and I am my own personal transformation. I am the evidence that this actually works. It's clarify, acceptance, realign, embrace, and these are the 4 pillars that are based on my work on, but we'll talk more about them later. But like I said before, I'm not here to talk about my programs. I'm here to give you a masterclass on breaking the cycles of toxic relationships. Okay, so I want you to be really honest with me now. If you can get a pen and a paper, by all means, go and get yourself a pen and paper. But I want you to be honest with me now. I am looking for women in this seminar today who are forward focused, because you are the ones who are going to get results. If you're ready to move forward and if you're ready to be accountable, you're going to get the results that you're looking for. But if you're in that space where you're still not sure, you're dwelling in the aftermath of a toxic relationship or relations of toxicity, and you're not quite ready to move forward, then this masterclass is probably going to be a waste of your time, because you need to be in that high energy of being able to receive. So I need you to open the channels of your mind to receive what I am going to share with you, because it's quite powerful. And if you're ready to move forward and implement what I will share, and if you're ready to receive and to be open to possibilities, and if you're ready to sprint, and I really mean sprint into your life, then I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that you are here with me, because I'm hoping that you are the person that I'm going to empower. And I mean that I really, from the truly bottom of my heart, want to empower as many women as possible. And I know that there's men as well that go through these relationships, but I just feel that I connect better with women. So I'm really here to say, let's move the needle, because you don't need to be stuck in that place where you feel like you're sinking. I'm here to move you forward. So let's dive straight in now. We're going to look at pillar 1, which was clarify. I'm going to ask you now, what behaviors have you been settling for in your relationships? Now, I know that, what behaviors have you been settling for in your relationships? And I know, Lindsay, you've already mentioned some of the red flags. You know, some of you run the opposite way, you wave at them and you carry on, trying to understand why you don't stop when you see the signs. And that is why you're here. And that's why this masterclass is here as well. Jennifer saying, I do this too. So what we're going to be doing now is getting a little bit interactive. And I'm going to ask you in a short while to let me know what your thoughts are. But let's first of all talk about what boundaries have other people violated in the past. And it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. This can be family relationships, co-workers, people that you work with, your neighbors. This could be your parents, it could be your siblings, it could be anybody. But what boundaries have others violated in the past? I want to really tune into that. And I want to share in the comments the red flags that you've experienced. So as I'm talking, feel free to drop them in the messenger, because I want you to feel heard, and I want you to feel validated. And I want you to know that somebody else in this room right now will be feeling the same way that you felt, and internalize that and thought, maybe that's just me overreacting. Maybe that was something that I did. Maybe I was being too sensitive. I want to feel validated. If you felt that red flag, then I promise you, I want to validate you. I wanted to tell you, if you felt it, it was real. So feel free to drop in the comments any red flags that you can think of that you may have had in your relationships, because I want you to not feel alone. I want you to know that there are others that are feeling the same way. So for those of you who are action takers, tell me in the comments. Do you want to drop some comments for me? Do you want me to share? Do you want me to carry on? This masterclass is designed for you, so I want you guys to be as interactive with me as you possibly can. Thank you, Whitney, saying, Leah Whitney saying, cheating, lying, game playing, blowing hot and cold, no consistency. Thank you. And Rebecca saying, being excluded from large parts of his life. I can absolutely relate to all of that. And I'm sure that if every single person in this room right now dropped in the comments how they have felt, more or less everyone in the room would probably be able to relate to the majority of what's being said. Lisa saying being controlled. There is so many red flags that we can all relate to, and these are just a few of them. So what I would like to do now is share some of the red flags that I've been speaking to you guys in the messengers, and there's so many comments and messages that we've shared where you've told me about your red flags. So I'm going to share some of them with you now. Lindsay saying anything from having to justify visiting my disabled mom to having to disapprove imaginary phone calls and conversations that he said I've had. Yeah, I can totally relate to that. Claire saying lied about messaging and keeping in touch with exes. And Danny saying avoiding speaking about an issue, stonewalling. We've all been there. And this is why I was saying it's important that we share, because it's validating us as a group. It's letting us know that our experiences, when they were gaslighting us, it wasn't in our mind. We weren't overreacting. These feelings were real. So I'm going to start from the top over here, and I'm going to work my way to the side. And let's have a quick look at what these are. Becoming intimate very quickly, and your body feels uncomfortable, withholding affection, lack of respect, being manipulative, feeling unheard, behaviors change once you felt that you were locked into that relationship, ranting about an ex-partner, violating boundaries, lack of emotional accountability, lack of emotional support. I'm sure you guys can relate to what's going on here. Gaslighting and love bombing, actions don't match the words, controlling behavior, making you feel invalidated and feeling unsafe. There are so many red flags, but these are just some of the ones that you guys have shared with me. And I excuse the fact that this page is very messy, because I really enjoyed making this, to be honest with you. And I think I got a bit carried away and I couldn't balance things out. And I thought, well, that's just me. I'm not perfect. So I'm going to show up authentically and leave this as it is. But that's just one of the pages that we've got there that shows the red flags. Claire saying, told me he cheated because he was angry. I was insecure about his exes. Yeah, I hear that. Every message that you guys have put there, I feel like I can relate to every single one, and I've been there as well. And I'm sure that you guys can relate to so much what's being shared. And don't worry if you don't feel that you're brave enough right now to leave these messages, because I know it takes a lot of vulnerability to feel like you're sharing. It almost makes you feel like you're being exposed, and you internalize that. Rebecca saying relate to lots, and I thought I was a bit mental about feeling what I did. What you have said I can relate to. SJ saying degrading my needs, and I want you to know that yes, it's a feeling, and I want to validate you, but I'm also going to show you how to break these cycles. So the way I'm going to teach you, I don't want to just teach you, I want to give you a bit of coaching as well, because that is what I do. And I feel like that is what's going to really open up your mind. So I'm going to ask you some questions as I go along, and you don't have to reply to these, or you can drop them in the comments, or you can just think about and reflect on them. So the first one, how many of these did you identify with? And a few of you have already mentioned in the comments that you could relate to them. SJ saying, commenting in a way that I felt I was crazy. Yeah, I think that is probably one that we can all feel that we can relate to. Now, how many of these red flags have you collected in the past? And what is the limit? How many are you prepared to take? How many red flags does it take before you walk away? Just let me have a quick sip. Joey's joined us today as well from friends, so couldn't find a glass, I had a bug. Okay, so how many of these red flags can you actually identify with? So what I'm going to do now is I am going to give you permission to stop collecting the red flags. Now that you're becoming aware of what they are, we're going to work through how you can stop collecting them, because you've been allowing them consciously or subconsciously to collect till you reached your breaking point. And that is when you decided, I need to walk away from this relationship, or for whatever reason, it just fell apart because it was imbalanced. And what you need to do is unpack that heavy suitcase that you've been carrying of red flags. I mean, literally, have you been cramming them in? I know I've done that in the past, where you just feel like, I don't know where to stop. I've collected so many that even if I wanted to stop right now, I can't. I've lost that strength inside of me to speak up. So what you need to do is stop at the first one. You see the first red flag, you meet someone, you've gone out there, you stop at the first one. To break the cycle, we must first clarify, identify what cycle to break. It starts at the very first one. Lindsay said, I've always said that as soon as it starts affecting my son, I'll walk, but social services are involved because it's gone so far and I'm still continuing with him. And this is what happens. We get to a place where we feel that is our breaking point, and we normally exceed it. And then we normally want to walk away, but by that time, it's like a spider's web. You're so entangled, you don't know how to walk away. Claire saying there were loads, but I was stupidly blind to it all, and I allowed it until he admitted that he was on dating apps, and I believed I loved him, and believed when he said he loved me, when he never clearly said he did. We're going to go into quite a lot of this now, Claire, so I'm going to move on, but thank you so much for sharing that with us, because these are such powerful messages that you guys are sharing. So when you meet someone, my gift to you today is your virtual suitcase. Every time you meet someone from now on, I invite you to take your suitcase with you and bring it back empty. Do not let it carry any weight. If it fills up, then you know that you're leading to toxicity. If you miss one red flag, you're not strong enough to get to that point yet, then you know if that suitcase is filling up, it's getting a bit heavier, you can feel the weight, it's on your shoulders, you can feel it in your body, then you know that that relationship is leading in the direction of toxicity. So let's think about, are you ready to create space in your life now for healthy love? Because if you can recognize what unhealthy is, we can start thinking about, well, how do we move into that space where we can attract healthier relationships? So the first step, like we said before, is to clarify what your past behavior and patterns have been, so you can be ready to challenge them. To recognize, has a red flag been triggered here? And if the answer is yes, have you acted upon it? Have you shut it down? Or have you put it in your suitcase? So ladies, make sure you carry this virtual suitcase. I'm sure whenever you go out dating now, you're going to be thinking, Naskia said, we need to take our suitcase with us. So take your virtual suitcase, carry it with you whenever you actually go out there and meet someone. And when I work with my clients, this is a process that's so much more in depth. I'm literally just scratching the surface. I'm conscious of time, but I'm just trying to give you guys as much as I possibly can. So before we go into pillar 2, which is acceptance, that is that all this time you've been accepting less than what you deserve. And now you are here to break that cycle, and I'm going to support you to make that happen. But I'm just going to have a quick look at some of the messages here. SJ saying he cheated. He created an image of himself, which he seemed perfect at the beginning. So later it was difficult to walk away, almost like being brainwashed and addicted. That's pretty much what it is. He created the concept of who he was, and then eventually the mask fell and the reality came through. of the reality of who he was. But by that time, it's too late because you're too emotionally invested. And this is the cycle that we really need to address so we can break it. And we're going to be looking at that now in Pillar 2. Let me know, guys, in the comments. Drop me a yes. Is this resonating with you? Do you feel like you're getting some value? Because it will really make me feel like I'm your cheerleader if I can support you with that. Great. Yeah, Claire saying it is. Lisa saying yes. Just makes me feel that I've got that connection going with you. Perfect. So now, guys, it gets a bit heavy because I promise you that I would deliver value. And I'm not here to list all the red flags because there's just far too many. You can go out there and research what red flags are. But what I am here to do is create a transformation for you. Now, this you may find uncomfortable because you might not be ready to receive it. And it might not be what you want to hear. But I'm here to tell you that this is what you need to hear. Okay. So how many of you have gone to YouTube and searched for knowledge about recognizing red flags and breaking toxic cycles or recognizing patterns of toxic behavior? Drop me a yes in the comments if that's something that you may have done. You've had access to all that learning, but you haven't actually been able to implement what you learned and move out of that space because now you're becoming a knowledge bank. If I ask you about toxicity, you could talk about stonewalling and gaslighting, and you could talk about all the terminology, but you've not been able to implement it. I'm hearing a lot of yeses in the chat box. Claire saying I've watched a lot of Instagram videos about narcissists and breakups, but yeah, it's so hard to move forward and implement that and be accountable for it. And this is why it's important to be able to know what we need to create, what shifts we need to create, rather than just accessing information. We need to act upon that information. Because research is not going to just help you. It's not going to miraculously fix what you need to do. Action is what you need. And for those of you who are action takers and want to move forward, I want to hear if you are ready to say, yes, Nazia, enough is enough. I'm ready to move forward. I am ready to move forward into my life because I'm sick of this baggage. I just don't want to carry it no more. I really want to claim my worth back. I want to get my life back. If that speaks to you, drop it in the comments. Drop me a message that says enough is enough, Nazia. I really want to move forward. And I'm so sorry, I completely forgot to mention, because you guys have turned up live with me today, I'm going to be giving you a little bonus at the end. And that will be really helpful in consolidating everything that I'm saying today. But yeah, let me know in the comments if this is enough. If you're at that stage now where you want to move forward, then I'm inviting you to book a call with me as well. And in fact, let me drop the link for you where you can book a free call with me and we can work through what you're struggling with in more depth. That's a bit more personal to you rather than just being obviously over on the masterclass. So I've dropped my calendar link in there. You can move forward and we can book a call and talk about what your needs are. But Lisa's saying enough is enough, but I still feel scared that this is normal. You are going to feel scared, Lisa, because it's a new chapter that you are not familiar with. You've been so dependent on somebody else validating you that you finding your own worth is going to be really difficult. Women who are not dependent on having a relationship as the only option, being happy without, that is healthy. Absolutely, Katrina, you've hit the nail on the head, because that is what we are here for, to find that space where we can feel validated. Okay, so what behavior have you been accepting and you wasn't aware that it was a red flag? I'm going to talk about some of the behaviors, not just the traits, but the behaviors that you might have come across and you didn't even recognize that this is a red flag. So some of the signs of the behavior that you need to be aware of. Does that person take any accountability for their behavior and their past relationships? Do they put their hands up and say, yes, I was partly to blame? Or do they talk about how crazy their ex was? And I'm sure we've all had that one, how crazy their ex was. It was all their fault. They're taking zero accountability. If they are in that situation and they're saying to you that it's nothing to do with me, then that is a red flag that you need to be aware of, because it takes more than just one person for a relationship to erupt in the way that it hasn't, and to blame them as being crazy. So I want you to really tune into, are they withholding information? But on the flip side of that, are they preying on you? And what I mean by that, are they intrigued to know everything about you? and they don't want to hold an opinion about what they're expecting in life, but they're asking you everything. What do you want? Where do you want to go? What things do you like? What does the future look like? Because what they'll do, they'll mirror back to you exactly what you want to hear. They will show you that mirror image of who, well, they will become exactly that person that you need them to become. And Claire, I think you were mentioning that before, that by the time you realize who that person is, the mask had fallen, you're too entangled. So these are red flags that you need to be aware of. And the last one is, are they raw from a relationship? Are they still healing? Because if that person is still healing and raw from their previous relationship, they're not in the right mind frame to move forward with a relationship with you. So when you're meeting people, we need to really invest in someone who is ready to commit, not someone who's halfway there, because later on, these are the things that are going to come back to bite you. These are some of the red flags that we need to become aware of. So I've got 3 tips for you, 3 things that I'm going to share with you. Questions to ask yourself if you're struggling to recognize, again, if it's a red flag. Number 1, is this relationship helping you? And I want you to think about that. Is this relationship making your life easier? Is it making it harder, or is it making it easier? If it's making it harder, then you know where we're going with this. Number 2, do you feel like you're tolerating their behavior? They're not bringing any value to your life. They are there because they're attractive. You've got that sexual chemistry, you've got that intimacy. They provide financial commitment to you. Whatever it is, are you tolerating their behavior because they're not really what you want, but you are there with them because you feel that you don't deserve better? And number 3, is your body telling you in very clear terms that they're making you feel uncomfortable? And I talked before about the bonus tip, taking advantage of the free tip that I've got for you, which I'm going to be giving to you at the end of the class. That's going to consolidate everything that we're saying. If you are feeling in your body that this person is not right, something is off, your body is clenching around them, your mind, your hands are freezing up, your body is just saying something is not in alignment, I don't feel comfortable, but I'm tolerating this, and I don't know why I'm with this person because they treat me so badly. These are all red flags that you might not have identified with. And these are all red flags that you may not have seen. Katrina saying, yes, huge red flags. So these are some of the things that I want you to be aware of. But ladies, we need to, there's 2 parts of this masterclass. One is recognizing them, and now one is changing your mindset so that you can attract the kind of people into your life that you deserve to have. So let's dive in now with some powerful questions, because you're here for a reason. Let's talk about you, and it's going to get uncomfortable, but it's what you need. What makes you make allowances for their behavior? These are questions to ask yourself. Jot them down in a notepad. If you've registered for this masterclass, then you'll get the replay. If you've not registered, send me a message, or I can send the registration link to you. I'll leave it at the end of the masterclass. If you register, what you'll find is that you'll get the replay for this, and you can watch it back in your own time and ask yourself these questions. But if you've got a pen and paper, jot this information down. What makes you make allowances for their behavior? I mean, what is it about you specifically, that has made these allowances? Do you feel uncomfortable being in your own space? Do you believe that you don't deserve better? Do you gravitate towards people that you feel need fixing because it makes you feel that you can validate your own self-worth by feeling that you've done something for them, you're going to help them, you're going to be that person that's going to fix them, because that makes you feel validated, it makes you feel worthy? Do you feel that you have to be that person in order to fill that role? Yes, or do you feel like helping others validates your sense of worth and purpose? Or do you feel external validation because you have an unhealed trauma from your past? There is something going on within you that you need to address and realign. Now, I really apologize. I feel like my voice is going a bit, but I'm hoping it's going to stay with me for the rest of this masterclass. I'm going to take a quick sip of water while I'll let you guys process that. Okay, so Lindsay's saying, I just feel panic when I think about not being with him. I don't understand that anymore. That is the trauma bond, Lindsay. Send me a message, and anybody else who wants access to a free ebook that I'm going to be giving to you on the trauma bond. If anybody else wants that, send me a message, I'll get that out to you. But that is a trauma bond that's keeping you locked in there, Lindsay. I'll probably do a masterclass on that in the next month or so as well. Claire is saying, I feel like I deserve the best, and you certainly do. And the same energy I put out, but I always seem to attract fixers and people that don't respect my boundaries. And then I stupidly fight for it when they don't. Absolutely. That's exactly what we're talking about. You're welcome, Lindsay. Trauma bond, yes, please. Thank you. Can I have the trauma bond? Absolutely. I'll get this sent out to you guys. If anyone doesn't receive a copy, just send me a DM and I will promise you I will get that sent out to you. I'll try to remember to drop it in perhaps at the end of this masterclass, because I think there's quite a few of you that might be able to benefit from it. I'll put their feelings before mine, and Dara's saying, yeah, I hear you, ladies. Totally, I've been there, and I know how frustrating it can be when you can't control your emotions. So the real work isn't just to recognize the red flags. The real work is to elevate your sense of self-worth so that you have zero tolerance for red flags. So the real work here is that you need to work on your self-belief and your self-worth, because when you actually have zero tolerance for red flags, you will not allow them. But get into that space is what we're going to talk about. You accept less behaviors because there's a voice inside of you that feels that you don't deserve better. And that is a shift that we need to focus on, which leads me to my next pillar. So we're on pillar number 3 now. Realign, how to create that unshakable self-belief in yourself. So when you do move forward and you meet people, you know how to put yourself in that position of power. So have you ever had a relationship where, well, have your relationships felt like a road that you've been walking on, and that is embellished with so many potholes that you feel like you're constantly falling into them? And have you felt that you've been seeking the validation and approval of others, and you want them to keep you balanced? And have you been relying on them to stop you from falling into the potholes? Drop me a yes in the comments if you can relate to that. Let me know what you guys are thinking. So actually drop me a comment on a scale of 1 to 10. How rocky has the road of your relationships been? 1 being the lowest, that you felt that it's just completely imbalanced. You felt that you need that dependence on them to be your rock, to be your stability. When they don't give it to you, you feel like your will's falling apart. Or 10, where you feel like, yeah, I've got this. I know where I am with this. Let me know in the comments. So I'm hearing a 10. Lisa, fantastic, Lisa. You're feeling that you're on a 10. I'm getting some 10s. I'm getting some variations here. Lindsay saying 255752. Okay, I'm not quite sure what that is, but it's interesting. I'm getting a 10s and quite a lot. So this is where you've got to reflect on what's causing that behavior. So now that I've heard your thoughts on your life, it's like you've been putting a plaster on your wounds. You've not been addressing the real problems. And you've had so many cuts and bruises that you won't recognize yourself anymore. And the problem is that our plaster is just glazing over the problem. What we need to do is do the internal mindset shift, to create that shift. So drop me a comment in the comment again if you guys are ready to hear about how you can create a mindset shift. Okay. So one of the ways, yes, thank you. So one of the ways that you can create that shift is to learn to recognize what your boundaries are and ask yourself, are you ready to compromise on them? When you meet someone, I want you to ask yourself, have they actually proven themselves to you before you actually let them into your space, let them into your life? Have they tried to violate a boundary, and have you overlooked that? Have you gone to that space where you're collecting the red flags in the suitcase again? And are you ready to stop listening to their words and tune into their actions? Because they will promise you the world, but the delivery, the action of who they are is what you need to focus on. So if you have to question their actions, I promise you, you're probably going to be collecting red flags. If you feel that you are questioning them, that is your red flag. So now imagine you had an armor, your suit of armor that you wore with your red suitcase And for those of you who might have come in a little bit late, we talked about we don't want to collect red flags. So I'm giving you a virtual suitcase to put all the red flags in and make sure it comes back empty when you go out dating, when you go out meeting someone. But imagine with your suitcase, you wore your armor. And how would you show up if you felt you've got your armor and you're not going to let someone just knock you down? You're going to filter them. You're going to let them prove to you that you are going to see if they are worthy of you. They need to prove their worth before you let them through the door. So don't be too quick to let people into your life and let them prove that they are worthy to be there. So now, this is where it gets a little bit interesting, okay? Let's think about your life, and I'm a bit conscious of the time, so I do apologize for starting a little bit late. If you guys need to watch the replay, don't forget, I will be sharing a link for you to watch that later if you do need to hurry. But I'm just thankful that you are all here with me. And I just want to say thank you for being here. But I want to move forward to the next chapter now. So imagine your life was on the movie screen. And if you were thinking about your life, what kind of movie would it be? Would it be a movie that you'd sit and watch to the end and you'd feel elated and happy? Would it make you want to smile? Would it make you want to laugh? Or would it make you want to be upset and be hurt and cry? So if your life was a movie, tell me a little bit in the comments. Just drop me some quick comments in the chat box. What kind of movie would it be? So they describe it to me. Give me a review of what it would be like. Just some quick comments. So when I was in my toxic relationship, it would be a real tearjerker. If you knew the stuff that I have been through in my life, I'm literally on the edge of writing a book right now because I've had so many people ask me to. There has been so much that I've had to go through, so much turbulence, that if I was to go back in time and look at my life, I could easily say it was a tearjerker. But I wasn't prepared to settle for being a tearjerker, and I've transformed my life using this process that I'm sharing with you to living my best life. I'm living it in a space that I never imagined I could, and I want each and every one of you to get to that space as well. Lindsay's saying no one would believe it, Lol. I totally believe you. I totally believe you. And I'm sure that there's so many of you watching today that are feeling the same way. It would probably be the kind of movie where you'd get the tissues out or the Kleenex out and you just think, what's going on? It would be destructive. Yeah. Jennifer saying destructive, Claire saying sad. It would be. It would be. So now, how about you tap in the comments? How do you want your life to look like? What kind of movie do you want it to look like? Do you want it to be bright and joyful? Do you want it to illuminate a happy life? Do you want to be going on holidays? Do you want to find the right person? Do you want to have the lifestyle, your dream job? Do you want to start your business? Do you want to become the next president or the next prime minister? What is it you guys want? Let me know. I'm loving these messages. Happy, smiles, laughs, love, healthy friends, family, colleagues, and a positive outlook, contentment. As Adam Sandler film where everything works out in the end. Absolutely. Yeah. I was watching just one of his films yesterday, 50 First Dates. I want to feel secure and settled, peaceful, just have a normal, healthy relationship. Not that you need someone to be happy. I absolutely agree with you, Claire, but I'd love to find someone to share my life with. Like Pretty Woman, yeah, I get that. Secure and confinement, loved and cared for. I was a single mum for 12 years when I left my toxic relationship because I was in that space where I was loving being independent and finding myself, my self-worth. And I filtered through people to eventually get to the place where I was like, I'm ready to settle down now. But my life has transformed. I'm literally going on my 7th holiday this year next week, the week after, I can't remember. I'm remarried again. I've met the love of my life and my children are amazing. My life has transformed. I never would have dreamed. All the things that you guys have written here is where my life is right now. And I want you to know that you all are capable of becoming that woman, becoming her who is going to transform into that potential of who you want to be. I'm just going to go through a few more comments. Secure and confident, loved and cared for. Reach my potential, feeling respected. I'm not saying life is a bunch of roses. I have my ups and downs with my partner, but I have got to that place where all of this is mine. And I want you to know you all can get to that place too. And I'm going to support you to get you there. I promise you, I'm here to elevate every one of you. So reach out to me individually if you want to, because I'm here, I'm going to support you. So all this time you have been struggling because you have been giving away the part of you that needed to be loved by you. You've been giving that part of you to someone else to feel validated. The part of you that needs to be loved by you has been accessing that validation externally. You've been looking for people to validate you, to make you feel that worth, where you should have been looking for that within yourself. And this is the place that you need to get to in order to attract healthy love. Because when it's not received, it forms an opinion of your own personal value. And that's the part of you that you've been giving away. And now you need to claim it back. You need to honor it and you need to own it. And you need to step up and think, I'm ready now. I'm in that space now. And this is what I was saying at the beginning of the masterclass, that you need to be looking forward. It's time to stop looking in the rearview mirror of your life. You need to be forward focused and obviously address why the issues are, why you are the way you are, which is what we would do if we were to work together. But you need to be able to put yourself in the place where you're ready to sit in the driver's seat and look forward and focus on you being your internal validation. And how we can create that space is what we're going to look at. So the secret to a healthy relationship, you don't have to give yourself away to be loved. You just have to let them accept you the way you are. And I'm going to give you a minute to absorb that. And if you want to be a complete action taker, then I'd love you to drop me a yes in the comments if you felt that. If you are ready to become an action taker, you need to love yourself first, because when you meet someone, they will bounce back that same energy. If you have that energy of feeling inadequate, of feeling unworthy, you don't feel like your self-esteem is where you want it to be, they're going to pick up on that. And narcissistic people, especially, they're like predators. They can smell you a mile away. They will literally hunt you down like a wolf. And you may have seen the memes where there's a sheep in wolf's clothing. There's a wolf in sheep's clothing. You need to find that vibrant energy inside of you so that you can bounce that back to somebody else who can see that, appreciate it. And you also need to be able to know what your boundaries are and recognize them red flags so you can attract them loving relationships. I've met someone now, he seems so nice, but I'm scared. Lisa, take your time. There's no hurry. We're not here to win a marathon. We're here to build foundations. Let that person prove themselves to you. Tracy, 100%, excellent, good. I'm liking this energy, ladies, because this is what we need. And sometimes stepping into this power is freaking scary because you have been with someone for so long who stripped you of that power, and regaining that back again can feel like a really scary place. So the secret to breaking that cycle, learning to value yourself. And that is why you feel conflicted, because you are not aligned with what you're trying to confine yourself to. You're trying to confine yourself to the expectations and standards of you. You're changing yourself to make them happy. And you've been abandoning your true authentic self, the real you, to fit in the shoes of whom you need to become to be accepted and loved. What you need to do is stand tall. And this is what we explore in my training coaching programs, Broken to Badass, where you work on your self-worth and self-belief. And again, if this is something you want to explore, send me a DM. So now we're going to move on to pillar 4. I'm conscious of the time, so I'm going to move forward into this. The shift here is about how you see yourself. If you've not got yourself on mute, I can just hear some background noise. Would that be okay if you could put yourself on mute, just so everybody else can hear me okay? I'll just put everyone on mute myself. That's okay. There we go. Okay, right. So hopefully you guys can still hear me. Yep, I think you can. Okay, so pillar 4, embrace. The shift here is about how you see yourself. Okay, the shift here is how about you see yourself. Where do you see yourself on this scale? Now, I want you to be really brutally honest with yourself, and you might not want to be comfortable doing that. You don't have to share this. You can absolutely just put it on your own notes. But on a scale of 1 to 10, your confidence, your self-belief, and your self-worth, where on this scale are you right now? Number one is at your lowest point, and number 10 is at your highest point. Where do you see your self-worth, your confidence, and your self-belief on the scale? And where do you want to be? And what do you need to do? And what do you need to let go of to get there? Katrina's saying, we are two tongues, one in the mouth and one in the shoe. The one in the shoe is a tongue to keep your eyes on. Only actions count. Talk is cheap. Absolutely. Talk is cheap. We want to focus on actions. So if you look at yourself on this scale, if you're brave enough, share it in the comments. Adele is saying 6, work in progress. Excellent. Excellent. Claire saying 6 to 7 today, but I'm feeling good. Some days is less. I'd like to be a 10. Absolutely. I'm hearing that, Claire. Sorry, but I don't understand how to measure these things, Lindsay's saying. So if you think about the scale being number 1 at your lowest point and number 10 at your highest point where you aspire to be to, where do you feel your self-worth on that scale? Let me know if that makes sense. 5, but would love to be a 10, says Lisa. 7, but without issues. Leah, really don't know what I need to let go of. I do all the textbook things, but struggling to move forward up the scale. Leah, I want you to reach out to me and let's have a chat about what we can do to delve into that a little bit more. I really want to help you to move forward from that. I'm just conscious of the time today, but I'm going to support you with that. So how to shift into that place of power. We know where we want to be. We know where on the scale we want to move up, but we really don't know how to shift into that power. Being ready to embrace the mindset work that you need to do will be the key ingredient for you to align yourself to the empowered version of you. That is where you will start attracting healthy love. Because when you're in a good place, you will mirror back what you need from your partner. And I think I spoke about this before as well. And settling for less will not be an option. It will not even feel like an option. If I was to say to you right now, would you mind, well, would you leave your job and downgrade for a job, the same job that paid a quarter of what you get paid right now? You'd look at me in disbelief and say, Nancy, have you lost your mind? Why would I possibly do that when I'm getting paid, 3 times more, 4 times more? Then why are you doing that in your relationships? Because when you realize your self-worth, you will not settle for less. You'll have 0 tolerance for red flags because you'll know your worth. And that's where we want to get you to. So when you learn to love yourself, ladies, that is when your potholes will start filling out. When you show up and begin to show up powerfully and accepting, you will stop accepting less than what you deserve because it will not even be an option. It will not be an option to accept less, just like you would not accept less in that job. You would not accept a quarter of the salary you're receiving right now. Why would you? So when you get to that place where you feel so worthy, why would you accept less? We want to get to that place, and it's my mission to make sure I help you to get you there. So if you're ready to begin believing in yourself and you're ready to embrace that day ahead of you, to show up powerfully, and you're ready to start thriving and showing up like a badass woman, because trust me, I see myself as a high value badass woman. It doesn't mean I'm high maintenance. I'm definitely not high maintenance, but I see myself as a badass woman in the world, and I see my self-worth. And when you get to that place, that is where the world will see it too. Then I invite you, if you want to get to that place, I'm inviting you to book a call with me. It's absolutely free. Just hop on 30 minutes on a free call. We can have a look at what you're struggling with, what your individual needs are. And if you're ready to work with a coach, then that's even a bonus for you, because I really want to be that coach that can support you to help you to move forward. And now for the bonus tip that I promised you. If you're struggling to work on your mindset, I'm here to support you transition from feeling hopeless to hopeful for the future. And that is going to be the link that I'm going to share with you in a second for, it is my free ebook that I'm going to give to you on manipulation. So you can recognize when someone is trying to manipulate you. You can recognize the signs. And because you ladies have mentioned that you are struggling with the trauma bond as well, I'm going to drop that in the link in a second, the links for you in a second as well. Just quickly going through the messages. I don't consider myself as being confident or unconfident, though. I just want to see what I am. And if it doesn't suit other people, then that's not my problem. Absolutely. That's what I mean about not being able to measure it. Okay, I understand that. I don't know how to put number on that if I don't see the scale. I get that. Don't worry, Lindsay, reach out to me. Let's have a chat about that. SJ saying, I feel better about myself, but struggling to see myself being with someone else again in the future. because it's scary. I hear that. It's completely scary. So ladies, if you are ready to say enough is enough and I want to be future focused, then I'm looking for you. Because if you want someone to walk you through how you can make that transition, I'm opening up space in my diary and I invite you to book a free call with me. I'm holidaying next week. I've got a whole week. I've not got availability that's completely open, but I invite you to book a call. Let's have a chat. Let's see what I can do to empower you before I make that trip to Spain. And if you are committed, whoever here is committed to wanting to change their life, I am committed to supporting you. So that's the end of the masterclass, ladies. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to drop them links in here for you. Just give me a second while I just grab them links. You cannot minimize. There we go. Where's my Word document gone? So this is the link to the free ebook that I promised you. This is the link to the free ebook on, just trying to figure out where the chat's gone now. When I minimize my screen, it seems to disappear. This is the link for the free ebook on manipulation that I want to share with you for my way of saying thank you for being with me in this masterclass today. And I'm just going to quickly grab the, see if I can grab, the ebook on the trauma bond as well. I've got a link for that. Guys, is there anything that you would like to put in the comments, anything that you would like to share with me, anything that's come up for you? I'd love to know what takeaways you feel that you may have received. I'd love to know what you feel that you may have got from today's masterclass. Let me know in the comments what's coming up for you. And I'm just going to grab that ebook for you. In the meantime, let's have a look. Copy. And put it in the comments for you. Thank you. You've given me lots to think about. You're welcome. Thank you. It's been very interesting. Here's the ebook for you. Red flags. Thank you, Nazi. Great session. I took a lot with me to think about. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, ladies. I'm really thankful for your time because I know time's gone on a little bit. And I'm just thank you. It's been amazing. Remember, I'm here to support you. I'm here to elevate you as a toxic relationship coach. This is what I do. It's my mission to empower you. If there's anything I can support you with, I want you to reach out. I want you to know that you're not alone. And I want you to start believing in your self-worth because that is where the transition happens from. So I've dropped the links in there. I'm going to quickly drop in that link again. If you want to book a call with me, absolutely free, you can hop on and we can have a chat and see what you're struggling with. And ladies, I'm going to leave the chat. I'm going to leave the Zoom meeting like that. Have a great holiday. Thank you so much. Thank you for this. I feel empowered already. I've never felt so heard before on these chats than I have here, but I really need to get my son to bed. I appreciate that, Lindsay. Thank you for your time. Thank you all. Oh, you're very welcome. The link isn't working. If the link does not work, guys, I really would like you to just send me a message and I promise you, I will get that sent out to you. Thank you, Nazi. I feel like I'm taking the right steps and I'm excited for meeting someone in the future. I do still think about my ex and the situation, so I'm nervous for trying again and looking forward to it at the same time. These messages are lighting me up. Are the links on here? I can't see the links. Right, I'm just trying to see if I can drop them again. Let me know, guys. I'm going to take you off mute now. If they let me know if the links are not working. How do we take you guys off mute? Here we are. Allow participants to unmute themselves. Yeah. So if anybody wants to unmute themselves, that's absolutely fine. I am just going to try and get these links to you again. If they are not working, just copy the same link that I put into there into your browser and it should work. This is a link that's showing up on my screen that's in blue. Subscribe to your page. I'm going to check if it works. Yep, it's working for me. That's the manipulation link. And the other link that I promised you, let's have a quick look. Why that link's not working. If it doesn't work, just send me a message. I'll get it sent out to you. Here we are. So, 7 signs of a toxic trauma bond. Right. I think I might know why the link might not be working. If you bear with me a second. think I've got too many open, that's why. 7 signs of a toxic trauma bond. There you go. Copy. Let's put that into the Zoom. Oh. Now, I know I said I unmuted you all, but for some reason it's not letting me unmute you. Mute all, unmute. Allow participants to unmute themselves. Yes. Do you want to try if you can be unmuted?
Yeah, it's working now.
It's working now. Brilliant.
Yes, it's just the trauma one that isn't working.
The trauma one. Oh,
link,
rest of them are all working. Oh, perfect. Okay. Yeah. The trauma one may not be working. 1 second, because I've actually got quite a few ebooks, and it may well be that I might have just put that particular one on pause for a short while. I just need to unpause it. I'm going to try and get that done now. I'm going to try and get the trauma bond done now. 7 signs, preview. I'm not quite sure why it's not working. I'm going to see if it can work now. God, you guys are amazing, aren't you? You're staying with me all this time. I feel really bad that I've overlapped into your time. And I'm just so happy that you guys are still with me. Right. Try this one, guys. Is it working now? Not able to see any of the links. I'm not going to take up too much of your time, guys. I know it's gone past a little bit. If these links are not working, do send me a message, a personal message, and I will promise you I shall get these out to you. Allow participants. I promise you I will get these links out to you. Yeah, they're working now. Brilliant. Okay. Well, ladies, thank you so much for your precious time. It has been absolutely amazing spending this time with you. Feel free to message me. Message me on Meetups or on Facebook. Thank you so much for your time. It's been amazing to hang out, and I shall be doing another masterclass probably the next month when I get back from holiday. I'll be inspired. If there's anything that you want me to work on, drop me a message, and I'll promise that I will look into being a bit more specific to your needs. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, everyone, for your lovely messages. Thank you. Bye now.